Now, talking a little bit about the Russian internet audience. Nereo mentioned that, we became, in Russia, the largest European market, but if you decide, and I hope you will decide soon, to localize your site, if not done yet, in Russian, then it makes sense to remember that Russians not only live in Russia, but also part of them in Ukraine and in many other countries, making Russia the 4th most spoken language in the world. So you address a public which has similar behavior, but is located in different geographies. Even in Germany, there's 1.5 million Russian speakers, just for your information. So yeah, we became the #1 market. You showed slightly different figures. What is more important is that this difference with the #2, which is Germany, will keep on increasing because the penetration is still much below. So we are just above 54% of penetration of internet usage, where Germany's and the other countries are like 77 to 80. So obviously, this difference will keep on increasing and the population will keep on growing. That means for any e-business, investing money in Russia, the future means growth, just because of the growth of population and also the way they use internet. Because currently, and this is probably the one thing you should remember of this speech today, is that only 1/3 of Russian internet users currently use e-commerce, against 80% in Western Europe. So any e-commerce site, if it works, and if the service works, will see its sales explode over the next 10 years. This is just has to happen. And you'll find a lot of research, analysts, banks telling you the same. We have the figures, we see the traffic, we see it's coming. E-commerce is set to explode in Russia. And the reason why I'm here today also with Elena is that people need to realize that many European companies looking for growth should look at these type of markets where growth is just about to happen. Of course, there are problems on the way, but you can solve them. Other people have actually solved them as well. Now, how do those 30% of Russian users that shop online, how and where do they shop? Incredibly enough, they love to go via the internet to see foreign sites, especially if they are in Russians. 36% of those who shop online say, we make cross-border shopping. Many go to Chinese sites as well, because Chinese sites have been extremely aggressive by localizing, by low prices, especially in the area of electronics, obviously, being very present in Russia. 21% still go to international sites. And I had my own employees, like 3 years ago, who started really ordering stuff from the US, from UK, from different websites, and being extremely happy because the price difference is tremendous and the assortment is much more interesting. So some colleagues have understood that, and some websites are making huge business with Russia without having any foot in Russia. If you look further, why would they do cross-border shopping? Better prices, this is clear. It seems logical, but you have to remember, for luxury brands like yours, the margin taken by a Russian distributor is just horrendous. I'm sure you know, there is the Big Mac index. You know? I don't know anything like the big luxury brand index, but I'm sure Moscow is probably the most expensive town for your brands. So even if you love brands, you still try to get access to a decent price. And for luxury brands, there may be a very serious difference. If you fly, if you make shopping tourism, a whole group comes to Milan, goes into boutiques and starts to buy stuff rather than buying it in Moscow because it's much more expensive. This is a reality. And the second point is not sold in Russia, obviously, assortment. Russians, they know very well the brand, they read a lot about them, they know what they want. If they don't find it, they will go and find it somewhere else. And here, the reasons against cross-border shopping, again, 1/3 do that, 2/3 do not, and this is mainly a reason of language, which is today not a problem to solve. I mean, there are agencies that do localization of any website within a few weeks. So the language problem is not an issue to solve, but it's a real hurdle for the Russian consumer. Even if he speaks some English, he wants to be sure that he understands exactly what he's doing, and he can call a number or get an answer on his email in Russian. That is very important for him, in any sector. Okay, I won't go more into details here. Also, about the categories, and here you have the split between the categories China, export and international export. So this is an interesting slide. All the presentation is available afterwards anyway. But you see that obviously clothing, shoes, beauty products are the most important ones for non-Chinese export. And this, I understand, is most of your categories. So you are actually having the super brand which every Russian wants, having the product, having the internet. You just need to make this one more step, which is to say, why don't I activate more traffic? Why don't I sell into this country? Because the people are waiting for me. They cannot always take a plane and come to Milan to shop. They like to do it, but they cannot do it regularly. And I also remind you that Russian consumers, they are ready to spend a lot for not only themselves, but the people they like. Recently, there was the 8th of March, the Women's Day. You know that Russians spend more on the 8th of March than for Christmas. It's incredible. The 8th of March is the biggest peak in sales for these type of products. And they do it very spontaneously. Usually, they don't plan 6 months in advance. They will go out on the 6th, 7th of March and find something. Or order it online on the 5th. And they need to get it. I want now to hand over to Elena, who will continue discussing and give you some insights about the analytics we have inside Yandex, which we are ready to tailor for any of you if needed.